Alright, ladies, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction 2.0, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about. I don't even know what it is. We're going to be talking about the power of faith. Now, look, I know it sounds so lame, right? Faith, you gotta believe in yourself, Nah. Oh, sorry about that. I just came from running. But faith is important because right now I'm reading Jack Canfield's book, the Success Principles. It's actually one of my favorite self-help books, to be perfectly honest with you. I think to me it's the best, right next to Psycho-Cybernetics. Much better than Awaken a Giant Within, I can promise you. Because it's a lot clearer and a lot more concise and a more practical advice that's quicker, and that like the chapters are short too. For me, someone who can't focus for a long time, this is a very good book for that. But generally speaking though, it talks about faith and how faith. Let me show you how it says here, right? I found it interesting. It says, scientists used to believe that humans responded to information flowing into the brain from the outside world, but today they're learning instead that we respond to what the brain, on the basis of previous experience, expects to happen next. Your brain is always trying to pick up patterns and there is always trying to pick up patterns and predict the future in order to anticipate and help you survive. That's what the brain does. It's a survival organism, not to make you happy, but to help you survive under any means necessary, even if it means scarring you for life or traumatizing you, right? To help you avoid the stimulus. But the thing that people realize is that we don't respond to we don't respond to the information in the outside world, but rather we respond to how we interpret that information. And the way that we interpret that information is based on our belief system. Now, belief system doesn't just entail the way you see the world, but belief system also entails as to what you believe your goals. How achievable you believe your goals are. And depending on how achievable you believe your goals are, it's going to depend on how much action you take, how much creativity you put into it, how much you think about it, how much you obsess about it. And if you believe you could do something, if it's possible, you're going to make it happen. For example, before I moved out in Reading, Pennsylvania, my family had an inheritance that they were going to receive. They haven't received it yet, right? So it's an ongoing joke in my family. But there was an inheritance that they were supposed to receive, but they never received it. I don't know why. And as soon as that happened, I initially got excited about living in New York City, right? I was like, yeah, finally, right? And I started looking at Craigslist, looking for different rooms. I didn't care about the price no more. Before, I wouldn't even look at the price because I was scared because I couldn't afford it. But now I was excited. I was looking at the prices, and the thought of living in New York City looked a lot more vivid and more conceivable. And so it excited me, and I believed that was going to happen, right? And so I became obsessed about living here. But then we haven't received it, right? But as soon as when I started setting my own goals, I really didn't look at Craigslist and see the rooms because I would get discouraged. But as soon as I started believing in my goal, because I believed that I was going to get an inheritance, so you know what happened? I started getting excited about the future. But as soon as I started believing in my goal, that what I was going to do, it was going to happen, that I was going to live right next to the YMCA. And want to see where I live? Look. Let me show you where I live at. It's kind of funny. 1 second. You see that little balcony right there with the little flower pot? Little flower right there with the window open right in the middle under this. See that? Boom, boom. See the little stairwells right there? That's mine right there, right? I had that vision very vivid, right? And that's what happened. And it was because I started believing that it was going to happen. The thought about it made me excited, right? And so when you believe something's going to happen, your brain becomes excited at the thought. Suddenly it doesn't scare you no more, but rather it excites you. So that helped me get through a lot of the tough times when I didn't believe in myself. Because as soon as I started not believing in myself because of my circumstance, I immediately started thinking about what's going to happen. Not because I was cocky or confident in myself, but because I was confident in my brain. I believed that the brain, when it becomes obsessed about something, it makes it happen. It goes into turbo mode. But the only way for you to make that happen is to have a vision which Jack Canfield in his book talks about it by goal setting in chapter 3, and then become obsessed about it by visualizing that goal and writing down a plan of as to how you're gonna make it happen. But your primary, the primary source that you should rest on is not on your ability that from what you have done, but rather on your brain's ability to make anything that it becomes obsessed about happen. It's not about how much you believe in yourself, but your brain's ability to make whatever you're obsessed about happen. So just become obsessed about doing whatever you want to do, the career that you want to have. By simply obsessing about it, means you believe in it. For example, like right now I'm living in New York City, right? And as you guys can see on my Instagram or my Facebook, you usually see a lot of my posts by myself. You notice that, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed that. It's usually by myself, right? The reason why I'm still like not isolated, but like doing my own. It's not again. I'm not isolated. I got friends. All right, I got friends. All right. People are like, oh my God, he needs help. We need to save him. We need to find him a buddy. No. I'm good. Don't worry about it. Because I do things with other people. All right. Like I have friends, play basketball with them. I also have friends from back in college. One of my qualifying myself. But you won't see me doing a lot of things with other people. So why is that? It's because I'm still in that mode where I was back in Reading, where I was focusing on my goal, right? I'm still in that mode. So what I have to do now, I have to begin to visualize myself with having a social circle. Simple. And become obsessed about it. Right? And I wasn't doing that. Right? I wasn't doing that. I wasn't making that a priority. So now guess what? I'm gonna begin visualizing myself having a good social circle of friends with people that I know, people that I do activities with. Again, that doesn't mean I have friends, but I just don't have that web that connects each other, that connects them to each other, right? That's all you do. So I'm not gonna worry about my skills. I'm just gonna worry about becoming obsessed about it. Now, what's gonna happen when you become obsessed about something? You cannot help but take action. You cannot help but take action. Why? Not because you have the willpower, but rather because you feel a compulsion to do it. So suddenly you're not operating on willpower. You're not operating on I need to put it on my calendar so I don't forget. No, you're so obsessed about it that you don't even need anyone to wake you up for it. You're so obsessed about it that you don't need anyone to remind you to make it happen, to go take that action. You don't need Adderall. You don't need coffee. You don't know this. You don't need alcohol. You don't need nothing. You have this obsession that feeds itself on your thoughts and on your attention. And so that's how you make almost any goal inevitable. Become obsessed about it by becoming obsessed about the outcome. What's happening is that because you're obsessed about it, it excites you. You know what I'm saying? And when you begin to be excited about a certain image, it becomes reality. You see, the images, the emotions gives life to the image. So you begin to envision it clearly. Think about it. Anything that you're excited about, you usually envision it in a very clear manner. So become obsessed about a specific goal in a very clear manner, and by simply doing that, you will automatically do everything that's necessary to make anything happen by simply having an obsession. But what you have to do is obsess about the right things. People don't obsess about the right things. You see, people obsess about the wrong things. And so when you make sure to obsess about the right things, which is a very clear goal, you're going to make it happen. So what's my goal now? Okay. For example, if you look at my room in my house, right, you'll see that it's not decorated. Why is it not decorated? Not because I can't decorate, even though that's true, but because it's not an obsession of mine to decorate. I don't have a clear vision as to what I want in my room. Now, I'm unsatisfied with it, right? And I complain about it. Why do I complain? I complain because I'm not taking action. And so by not taking action, I complain about it, and it feels like I'm doing something. So rather than complain, you first find a way. If you're complaining, that means there's some action that you could take. That's what that means, right? You're complaining, it means either A, accept it and shut the fuck up. That means you don't mind, right? Or if you're complaining, that means that you want a certain outcome. So rather than that, just begin to become obsessed about making that outcome happen rather than complaining, because complaining tends to make you feel happy because you're doing something about it. You're releasing that energy, not through making it happen, but through complaining about it. So if you complain a lot, that means you're just not taking action. And I was complaining about it. So now what am I going to do? First, I'm not going to worry about what meetup group I'm going to go to. I'm not going to worry about going to a social club, but rather I'm just going to become obsessed about having a vision where I have good friends. That's it. And that's how it's done. Just become obsessed about the outcome, and it's naturally going to happen. All right. Anyways, it's Alex from mindforattraction.org. Sorry that's kind of loud. They got little kids here playing and shit. I'm sorry. I like kids. Kids are adorable. All right. It's just me playing around. Anyways, if you guys need one-on-one coaching, go to mindforattraction.org/coach in the pocket. And I'm gonna go back to reading my book, man. This book, man, is amazing. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Take care.